COVID-19. It's almost 6 years ago. I mean, for some, it seems like an eternity where people were living in depression, anxiety, loneliness. Yeah, I mean, we've all been through that.
In the wake of the pandemic, loneliness has grown and depression has touched millions. Empty streets became silent classrooms, bedrooms turned into waiting rooms.
Can't get to meet anyone, your family, your friends, can't go out anywhere. You need to social distance yourself. It was a crazy, crazy time, and probably one of the times that only our generation have actually witnessed and gone through. And then there was some hope where vaccines were being developed because there were so many deaths happening, so many cases every single day, thousands and thousands of cases, so many deaths happening all around the world. And then there was finally some hope, a new dawn, so to speak, where the vaccines were in stage 3 trials, phase 3 trials, and about to be rolled out. And people were ecstatic, people were happy that finally we can get back to normal life. Normal life, I mean, that sounds a little bit ironic. Since COVID-19, since the lockdown, things haven't really been the same. I guess some might say things have changed. Some might say they can even feel it. There's a certain thing in the air. I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, even though things have come back to normal, there's this certain something which you really can't put your finger on. That seems a little off, a little different. And yeah, you guys might remember this little skit.
The vaccine.
Where the media tried literally shoving things down your throat. I mean, down your mind at least, not your throat, through your mind, regarding vaccines, and you must take it. Take the first, the second, and the booster, and the fourth booster, and the fifth, God knows how many boosters you need to take. And they even assured us that once you are vaccinated, you will not get COVID. They were also criticizing people for not wanting to take the COVID vaccine. They were calling it the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Metrics as the numbers trend in the wrong direction, fueled by the highly contagious Delta variant and unvaccinated Americans. New infections are spiking 70%, hospitalizations climbing 36%, as deaths rise 26%.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
It is data that confirms that we're still in a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
So they were literally targeting people who weren't willing, I wouldn't even call it willing, they weren't ready to accept a vaccine that was made that quickly, that was pushed for trials that quickly. And they had their doubts. Again, I mean, that's human nature. Now, if someone has a doubt, I mean, it's their right. I mean, until they're sure of what they're injecting, because again, it's something that you're injecting into your body. So you should know what is in that vaccine, any side effects. There wasn't anything done. There was no research because it was completely new. After 5 or 6 years now, there's research coming out on different possible side effects.
A bombshell new study out of Stanford University, funded by the NIH, showing they found biological proof mRNA COVID shots do trigger heart problems like myocarditis. Joining us now, internist and cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough. Doctor, it's great that you are back with us because it looks like they found the biological pathway that mRNA COVID shots cause inflammatory reaction in the body, particularly in young men and adolescent males, because of the body's immune response. But the Biden White House had mandated these shots under threat of job loss.
Yeah, I'm a cardiologist. I see this problem in the office every day. This is far more common than what people think.
And that's really opened up eyes for many people around the world. I would say COVID-19 has been a huge wake-up call, not only in terms of the medical industry about your health, but it's actually made people realize that you can't really blindly follow the media, even your government, based on certain propaganda. This has been a huge wake-up call for a lot of people post-COVID, because COVID actually showed the corrupt system, how people were being manipulated into taking something they don't really know about. And coming back to the topic of COVID opening people's eyes, I mean, it opened my eyes for sure because I was one of the people who wasn't against a vaccine. I just took my time, me and my wife. I mean, we did a lot of research on our own. We tried to find the best possible, safest possible vaccine that we could take because, again, your job was at stake. Again, that was a freedom, again, restriction put on your. I mean, if you take the vaccine, then you can keep your job. If not, you lose your job. So that was, I mean, that was a completely crazy time when you could possibly lose your job. You could not travel because you haven't been vaccinated. We finally decided to go for Covaxin. That's the Indian vaccine, Indian-made vaccine, which is, again, it's the traditional way of making a vaccine with using a dead virus. So there was this vaccine. It's a normal, traditional way of how you generally make a vaccine. You take the disease and you kill the virus or whatever it is, and you use that in the vaccine. So that's the most traditional, most common way, and we assumed that's the most safest way, safest option to go for, and we took it. Once your mind opens up to the COVID racket that was going on with the vaccines and the fear mongering, what happened to me was slowly other windows started popping up on their own. This was the turning point, I would call it, turning point for society as a general. It made people realize that there's a lot more lies going on around the world, and it made people really dig into much more things apart from COVID, apart from the medical or the health industry. It made them question almost everything, which was actually a good thing that COVID happened in these terms, where people started to do their own research into everything. You can call conspiracy theorists, you can call them um, Looney Tunes, or whatever you want to call them. But COVID was the initial, I would say, the stepping stone. And after that, you had much more deeper rooted issues, lies, which people started to really wake up to. And COVID made them realize that yes, the media can lie, the government also can lie. So once you go down that rabbit hole of finding one lie, you start to see a pattern of different lies that can be told. They really didn't go to space to begin with. And that comes back to the moon landing, US moon landing, which I think is a hoax, by the way. I mean, doesn't really look that they went to the moon in the 60s, because since then they haven't really gone back and the technology is destroyed. And I guess you guys have heard the same story over and over again, where they can't remake the same technology compared to what they had 60 years ago. They can't make it right now. And now they have iPhones, they have smartphones, they have TVs, they have hologram, 3D, everything. You got drones, but you don't have the technology to go back to the moon, which you did almost 60 years ago. That seems a little weird. Again, could be a coincidence. See a pattern of different kind of lies. Even the Antarctica, that's also one thing that's made people realize. In fact, in the last, I would say, last 5 years, there's been a huge influx of conspiracy theorists around the world. If you talk in terms of space, if you talk in terms of the firmament, which ancient religions believe that there's a dome-like structure over the world, over the earth, and you can't really go through it, and everything is enclosed within that dome, and you have the sun, moon. These are all, again, conspiracy theories that are based on ancient civilizations, which is also in the Bible. Actually, in the Bible, you have some texts in the Bhagavad Gita, according to the Hindu text. You also have some stuff according to Muslims in their holy book. So you have different cultures, religions also talk about space as in this vast area where you can't really go into. And you have NASA showing these images of Earth from different angles, different, and they admit themselves that these are all CGI images. So NASA themselves say that these are CGI and not the real authentic images. So it makes you again put two into, and makes you think like, what if space isn't real? Then you have Antarctica, which is again another conspiracy theory where you can't really go past the South Pole. You have this huge ice wall which is encompassing the entire Earth, and you have all the countries of the world, all the different countries signing a treaty to safeguard and protect South Pole, which is a little weird because sometimes these countries can't really agree on something, but this is one thing that they all agree on to protect the South Pole, so people can't really go there. Again, it's only for research activities and science that people can go. And when you start doing these kind of things, it makes people slowly think, what if it's true? It might not be, obviously, but it makes you start thinking, what if there's something beyond Antarctica, something beyond the ice wall? Because the more you try to suppress society, the more you try to tell them it's not there, it's just human nature, we start thinking it is there. What if something is beyond South Pole? And again, you have the flat Earth theory, which is again picked up huge in the last 5 or 6 years, where there's a lot more people who are coming to believe that there is a flat Earth, at least somewhat like a flat surface where we have this dome structure above us. It's not really a ball. There's no gravity, because if there was gravity, then how can it? Okay, it holds on water in the form of ocean, but it can't hold on clouds which are lighter than water. Again, that's a different topic because that deals with, let's say, density and buoyancy. So that's again a different um, rabbit hole to go down to. And yeah, I mean, I guess these things have actually come together and awakened society. And yeah, you have all these different conspiracy theories which have in fact increased in the last 5 or 6 years because I believe of COVID. COVID was the initial point which kind of broke society, and it made them started to question things and do their own research and question and look beyond what the answers that are given to you on Google or in the news, on the media, or by governments. And once you start to do your own research, you start to dig deep, you start finding certain narratives which don't really fit the general education that we've been taught from a very small age. So I believe COVID has really changed at least society for the better. It's really opened up most people's eyes, made them start to think things, analyze things, question everything, which has to be done, I believe. And hopefully, going to the future, 2026, 2027, you start having more disclosures, like you have with the UFO, the files coming out, and if aliens do really exist, are they really aliens, or are they just humans from the future, or are they spiritual beings from a different dimension? There's so many different aspects to just calling them aliens. And if they are aliens, from where have they come? Have they come from a different planet? Or have they come from the outer parts of the flat Earth theory? So there's a lot of different questions that need to be answered, and I guess right now the human civilization is on a very self-discovering path, is what I would call it, because things haven't been the same since COVID-19, and there's a lot of new discoveries being made, myths being busted, truths coming out, and it will be a difficult time, no doubt, but we're also going in the right direction where we are trying to expose and discover and get a disclosure for things that we don't really know too much about. Some people in the government do, and they try to keep it from us, but I think we are on the right path to actually discovering more for ourselves. And hopefully this gets better and better every year, and eventually we do come to know certain truths, maybe space, or about the North Pole and South Pole. I mean, people really don't talk much about the North Pole, but even that is off limits, apparently, for some reason. So you can't visit the North Pole and the South Pole for reasons unknown. And you have space, like I mentioned. Then you have these wars, which are proxy wars. We are waking up to what's happening around the world, and hopefully we stay awake. And guys, if you liked the video, if you liked my take on how COVID has changed us, hit that like button, join my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next show. Till then, bye bye and take care.